Hello everybody. Today I'm going to show you the step-by-step process of posting on your blog and then reposting your blog post on the main news site. Everything from posting to formatting to the SEO management for your post. Now, for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm actually going to post something on my blog. So as you can see, this is the page of my blog before I've logged in. And I have my article that I'm going to post in a Word document. So what we're going to do first, and it's always first, is you're going to log in. Now, you do have your login sheets with the link to log into the back portion of your website or your blog, which is a WordPress site. But in case you need to figure out the actual web address, you can actually go to the link of your blog, and you can type / after the link, type in WP hyphen admin, and this is the link to the admin login page of WordPress. So there you go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in to my blog. And voila, I am in the administration part or the back end of the website for WordPress. And you have your dashboard and all this other stuff. Now, you don't need to know every little thing about your WordPress blog. This is strictly just about being able to post your article and format it right. So the very first thing that we're going to do once we're in the back is we're going to go to the far left here as we go to the dashboard. Okay, and we're going to go to the link that says post, and it will have a box that pops out to the right, all post, add new, categories, and tags. So you're going to go to add new post, and here you go, add new post. This is the back end part of the website, in the area where you're going to post. You have your title box, you have the area where you're going to post the text, you have off to the far right the publish box. You can also save this as a draft. There's categories down below that you can post in. Feel free to explore if you want, but this is the very next step of your post. The first thing you're going to add is the title. It doesn't have to be all in caps. Now, when you're posting on your blog, you don't have to put by the author or your name. You can just simply put the title because this is your blog. Everybody already knows who the author is. So after you put your title in, you're going to copy and paste all of your text into the text area. And it should automatically break up into paragraphs. Now, one of the most important things about making a blog post is images, including a header image. But we're going to get to the header image here in a minute. Right now, we're just formatting text. So you can generally leave, you don't have to put a photo at the very beginning of the blog post or anything, you can actually put it somewhere in the middle. So what I did is I created some space. I'll show this to you again. You can put the cursor on at the end of one of the paragraphs, hit the enter button, and it will create some space. You're going to go to the Add Media button. Now, for a new blog post, you probably don't have the images in your media folder yet, so you're going to have to upload them. And just like uploading images somewhere online, it's the same principle. It will automatically click to the pictures box or folder on your computer. You're going to find the images you want to upload. It's always good to have at least one image within the text besides the header or featured image. And when I say header image, I'm talking about the featured image. So what I'm doing is I'm going to actually upload everything at once instead of one at a time. So I'm finding the images that I want. I highlight one, I press the control button, and I find the other one and highlight it. So I've got two selected. I hit the open button and it automatically uploads the images. Now both images are going to be checked as if you're going to insert both of them at the same place, but that's not what we're going to do. You're going to pick one of them that you're going to insert. So the one that you're not inserting in that space, you're going to uncheck the box. The one that's checked is the one that you are inserting. Now, it's very important to look at the size of the image. Okay? If you go to the far right here, it gives you, you don't necessarily need to know anything about the over here. The only thing you need to be concerned about is the attachment display settings. By default, WordPress automatically sets this to a medium image. Okay, but if I click down to this box, there's the thumbnail size, a medium size, or the full size. Medium size is what you want to do. We're not trying to blow it up too big. Okay, so make sure you have that, and then you're going to click on Insert into Post. So there we go. We have an image. Now, I'm going to show you a neat trick about wrapping the text around the image. This is part of formatting. You're going to highlight the image or click on it. You see this little box where you can resize it. It has a little toolbox above it where you can edit, align. You can actually click Align Center. Centers the image. Then highlight it again. The little toolbox will pop up. You can align left, and it automatically aligns, wraps the text around the image. Now you can also use the same principle up here as well. Okay, so the image is still highlighted. I'm going to center it. Okay, I can either click Align Left or Align Right and wrap text. For this purpose, we're actually going to align it to the right. Okay, so again, keep in mind you can use the buttons up here or click on it, have the little size bracket around the image, and use this toolbar. Either one works. But we have a picture within the text ready to go. Okay. Now, if you're doing a review, we have our final grade images that we use. Everything from 1 through 10. I made the images and I put them in your media folder when I set up your blog. So they're already there. If this was a review and I was rating it something, what I would do is I would add another picture. I'd go to the Add Media button, bring up the media folder, and see all of these images here for final grades. You should only see 10 images in your folder. I actually have 2 different versions for mine. But for this tutorial, as if this were a review and I was rating it a grade 8, I would select that image, has a little white background around it, Again, the default size is medium, and I would insert it into the post. Now, you can align this to the left right underneath all the text, or you can center it. You don't need to wrap text around the final grade image. It should be the very last thing that you have. Now, my apologies. I forgot to copy and paste some text, so I'm actually putting it underneath here and adding it in this blog tutorial. If you write out your blog post in Word, select all instead of trying to highlight and copy and paste, because you might miss text. This is not really a review. This is just an article about pop culture and me commenting on it. But I'm showing you an example as if this were a review and where you would put the final grade. Okay? So I'm going to leave this here for the time being, and I will delete it later. Now, let's say that you're actually reposting a news article from a different source on the main news site. In the title box, if you're reposting and using the same title, we always have to put where we got the source. So let's say this came from comingsoon.net. Outside the title, you would put in parentheses comingsoon.net. That way people know that we're basically reposting from another source and we're not plagiarizing another writer's work. Okay? We do repost important news, and of course it's very important again to make sure that we credit the source that we're getting it from. Okay? So this is just an example of if this was from a different source. It's not, so I'm going to delete this for all intents and purposes. I just wanted to show you how we credit a different source for that nerd show. Okay, now that I've got all of my text in there, I've got a final grade as if there were a review, I've clicked the category. I am going to go to the right and I'm going to select a featured image. This is a thumbnail image that's going to go in the blog format on the main page. Okay, instead of it just showing up text. Featured images are very, very important. Okay, we must always have a featured image with our blog post. All right, so I'm going to select this image of Rod Roddenberry. I'm going to, there's not going to be any size that we have to select for a featured image. It's automatically going to size it for WordPress, unlike inserting an image into the actual text area. So I'm setting the featured image. Make sure you do this. I'm going to reiterate one more time, always, always, always have a featured image. Now you can use use one of the images that you've already posted in your text, okay, as a featured image. If you're writing a recap of different television shows, you always want to put an image from the show around, you know, the paragraph areas of what you're talking about. So let's say you're doing Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow. You can use one of those images that you've already posted as your featured image. It's okay. I prefer that you not, but it's okay if you want to do it. I just want to make sure that you guys have a featured image. Okay, so the featured image has been put in this little box. If you don't see an image in this box, you don't have a featured image. Okay, now the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to set up our SEO for the post. So you need to go up and copy your title. You can right click and copy, or you can use the keyboard and go Control-C. Scroll down here. There is a section called All-in-One SEO Pack. Okay, this is where we do our SEO. You're going to put the title in there. The description will be the first couple of lines or the first line. I just basically copied the text area. Put that in the description, and then you're going to do your keywords. The keywords for this is going to be CBS, Star Trek, and yes, you should spell the words correctly. Now, your name should always be a keyword if you're the author. And the name of your blog. This one is The Maverick Opinion. So I'm putting that as a keyword. And then, of course, you always want to put That Nerd Show as a keyword. And you always separate your keywords by commas. Okay? Now, you can click every one of these boxes here, except the very last one. We do not select the box Disable on this page post. We just don't do it. So, all-in-one SEO pack section on your blog. You put the title in the title box. The description is the first line or two of your text. Okay? And then you put your keywords. You don't necessarily need to use the tag section right here because this is those are basically keywords and you're already putting them in with this SEO plugin. And then you're selecting everything. And that's it. That's how you set your SEO. Okay? Look for the all-in-one SEO pack. Okay? Now, we've got everything ready to go. If you'd like to preview everything before, you can hit the preview button. It's not published, but it'll show you exactly how it's going to show up on that post page. Okay? Now for my blog theme, the header, the featured image shows up in the header area, but that won't be for all of your themes. Okay? So it'll pop up into another window. Once you make sure everything looks good, you can just delete that and then hit the publish button right here to the far right. And to check how it's going to look, right here, there's the name of your blog. Okay, up to the top left-hand corner. What you want to do is you want to kind of highlight that. You want to right-click and open up in a new tab. Right-click and open up in a new tab in your browser. Okay, so we're back to the front end of the blog. So you see how you have a header image and then there's a little bit of text and read more, but you have your title. These are the posts that I've done on my blog. Okay, and there's always a header image. Or, I'm sorry, featured image. It's called both things, but featured, header image, the most important thing is you have to have an image, as I've stated before, and I'm going to keep reiterating, out next to the text in your blog roll here with all of your latest posts. Okay? All right, you've posted on your blog now. Go back to the tab where everything is open. Okay. Your login to your blog will also work on the main news site. Okay? So you have a link to the main news site. Here is where you're going to log in. It's going to be thatnerdshow.com/site, S-I-T-E, /WP, well, it should be WP admin. And I'll click on that and type that in real quick. Basically refreshes the screen and brings back the login box. Okay? Now, please do not get confused by this part. Okay? I have a different login for my blog than I do for the main news site. Okay? So my usernames are different. However, I guarantee you that your login that I gave you for your blog will work on this. So that's what you're typing in. Okay. Now, you don't have to start from scratch when reposting your article on the main news site. The only thing you're going to have to redo is the title box and redo the featured image. I'm deleting this image because this is not a review. I was just showing you as an example of how to put the final grade box in there. Okay. In this, you're also going to have to redo the SEO. So the three things that you're going to have to redo is the title box, the featured image, and the SEO. Everything else you have formatted, and the easiest way to copy and paste is in this area. You have what they call the visual section. It shows you all the text with the images, and then you have what they call the text section. The text section is HTML. Okay, you're going to copy everything. Basically, you're going to have the same format and images that you put on your blog, and you're going to copy every little thing, and you're going to put that in the text area on the main news site. Now, when you're in the main news site and you've logged in, again, it's the same thing. You're going to go to Post. You're going to go to Add New. It'll bring up the area. After you've selected all of clicked on the text tab, selected all the HTML, you're going to click the text tab in this section right here. Okay, don't click on visual, click on text, and you're going to paste everything. Okay, so it's going to still show up as HTML. Now, click on visual, and everything will show up, including the images. Okay? The reason that you can get away with doing this is your images that you've already put in the text are saved on your blog. So they're already online and we can use them. You don't have to upload them again. The only thing that you're going to have to upload to the main news site is whatever you used for the featured image. Okay? But this is the easiest way without having to redo everything from scratch. Okay, so you've copied all of the HTML and you've put in the text section. Again, here's what visual looks like and how it really looks. Now, yes, the back end of our main news site looks a little different than your blog, okay? And I'm going to show you, again, how to do everything. You go back to your blog, logged in. See, keep in mind that I have different tabs open on my web browser, okay? So I'm going to go back to the tab with my blog. I'm going to copy the title. I'm going to put the title in the title box, but this time I'm going to put by Marcus Blake. Now, if this was a reposting of a news article from a different source, you wouldn't put by the author, you would put in parentheses and the website, like IGN.com, after the title. Okay? Remember how I showed you that before? I'll show it to you again. Let's pretend this is not written by me, that this is from comingsoon.net and I'm just reposting. That's how the title box would look if we're reposting from a different news source. But we're not, so I'm deleting that and putting by me. Okay, so I've got my title box. All the text is selected. We're going to scroll down, and yes, you do not need to worry about anything like this. This is just featured for this particular theme for our news site. It has nothing to do with what you're posting. But the all-in-one SEO pack is down below. Okay? Now the easiest thing to do is to go back to your tab with being logged into your blog, is find the all-in-one SEO pack that you set up and just copy everything. We're going to copy the title. except on the main news site, the title should be by your name. And it does help to spell your name correctly. Again, you can click on and select the description box. And then, of course, all of the keywords that you did. Okay? So you're basically copying everything in the SEO boxes from your blog post and doing it on the SEO part of the post on the main news site. And then you select the boxes, all of them except the very last one. So you've reset your SEO. Okay? Always look for the all-in-one SEO pack. Now, the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to do a featured image. And yes, you will have to re-upload the image you used for the featured image. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to find that picture of Rod Roddenberry for this particular blog post. I uploaded it. I've selected it. I'm going to set the featured image. And you should select the categories on our main news site. So this is a blog post for me, so I'm selecting actual discussion because I'm commenting on a news article. Okay, if you were reposting a news article, you would do news. If it was a review of a movie or a TV show, you would select review. Okay, but getting back to the featured image, which I've talked about a lot, make sure the image shows up in this box. If you don't see the image there, you haven't selected a featured image. It's right here to the right of the screen. Your SEO is all set because you copied all of the boxes from your blog post for the SEO, except that you added by your name. Okay? You've got all of the text here because you, remember, selected all of the text or the HTML from your blog post and pasted it here. And then you have your title, except that on the main news site, you're putting by your name as the author. Because like I said before, you don't need to put that on your blog. Everybody knows who you are for your blog post. Okay. We have everything. If you want to do a preview, you can hit the preview button. It'll pop up into another tab. This is what the blog post would look like on the main news site. You have your header image right above it. The feature, one of the images here. On our site, on the main news site with this particular theme, header images always go right above. So if you don't want to, if you're like reposting news from a different source, you don't always have to put an image within the text. Okay, it makes it look a little bit better, but the featured image will always be right above the article, and sometimes that's good enough. But there you go. It's all posted. And again, if you're satisfied with the preview, you can click out of that. We are good to go. Everything looks good. So now we're going to publish. And you have published your blog post from your blog onto the main news site. Now, remember, go to the top left here. It'll have the link to, you know, whatever the site is, which this one is That Nerd Show. You're going to right click, open up in a new tab, because you're going to check how it looks. Excuse me. Yes, that's my hand. Do you see right here where this is the latest news? It'll pop up in this box with the featured image, the title and all that, and over the box, the author, what date, and what category. And on our news site, we have trending on That Nerd Show, which we always have the titles for our featured articles. But when you bring up the front page of the site and you look at how it's set with featured images and you know, the latest articles and everything, you should always be able to see that featured image and stuff. And you can click on it and see how it looks, even though you've previewed it before. Now, you should always check out the preview after it's published. So it's always good to, you know, double check. Again, right click on the dashboard part of it. It'll bring up, oh, sorry. Or just, you can click on it, bring up the front page of the site. The last thing you're going to do is you're going to go to social media and you're going to repost the social media article. Okay, we're going to go to my Facebook, and you guys are all editors on the Facebook page. Okay, so you're going to post from that nerd show. You're basically going to take the link on that nerd show, that nerd show's page. You're going to copy the link, go to Facebook. Here are two different ways that you can do posting on social media. This is my Facebook, and because I'm an admin on that nerd show's news page, I'm actually posting a link from my blog post on that nerd show on this page. So it highlights that nerd show. Now, if you want to write out a quick little caption, you can. For this, I'm not going to do it because the title and all that is there with the featured image. So I'm basically just going to post the link on Facebook and hit publish. Now, on my personal Facebook, I'm actually going to get the link to the article on my blog, and that's what I'm going to post on my own personal Facebook page. Featuring my blog and the links to my blog on my Facebook page, I'm featuring the links to that nerd show on that nerd show's Facebook page. I hope that makes sense. I'm actually deleting this, refreshing, because I need to put a caption. Then I'll put the link, and the link should, you know, bring up the same thing. This is on my Facebook page. It's a link to my blog, and then I hit post. Now, for that nerd show and my blog, everything's already connected to Twitter, so the post will show up on Twitter. But your very last step is taking the link to your blog post. Okay? How it shows up, that's not it. This is the one from my blog, taking that link and putting it into a social media post with some kind of caption or, hey, check this out, something like that. And then taking the link to the blog post on that Nerd Show's site and putting it on that Nerd Show Facebook's news page. Okay? Social media is the last step after you're done. You should always do that and get the word out about what you've written to our audience.